Still, Arundel was foolish. For 6 months, we all had to call her Stella instead of Stella Arundel, or she wouldn't answer. I always thought, thought Uncle Rundle had all the brain of the entire family. Another time, he sent me to Mammoth Cave with all expense paid. But this would be the day he was drinking that prescription, the 4th of July. So at Super Studio, Randall speaks up and says she think Uncle Randall ought to try to eat a little something. So finally, Uncle Randall said he would try a little cold biscuits and ketchup. But that was all, so she brought it to him. Do you think it wise to disport with ketchup instead of Randall's fresh-colored kimono? I says, trying to be considerate. If still Randall couldn't watch out for her trash shoes, somebody had to. Any objection? Asked Uncle Randall, just about to pour out all the ketchup. Don't mind what she said, Uncle Randall, says dear Randall. Sister has been devoting this solid afternoon to sneering out my bedroom window, and the way you look. What's that? Says Uncle Randall. Uncle Randall has got the most terrible temper in the world. Anything is liable to make him tear the house down if it comes at the wrong time. So Stella Randall says, Sister says, Uncle Randall certainly does look like a fool in that pink kimono. Do you remember who it was really said that? Uncle Randall spit out all the ketchup and jumps out of his chair and tears off the kimono and throw it down on the dirty floor and put his foot on it. It had to be sent all the way to Jackson to the cleaner and replace it. So that's your opinion of your Uncle Randall, is it? He says, I look like a fool, do I? Well, that's the last straw. A whole day in this house with nothing to do, and then to hear you come out with a remark like that behind my back. I didn't say any such of a thing, Uncle Randall, I says, and I'm not saying who did either. Why, I think you look all right. Just try to take care of yourself and not talk and eat at the same time. I says, I think you better go lie down. Lie down, my foot, says Uncle Randall. I ought to have known by that he was fixing to do something perfectly horrible. So he didn't do anything that night in the precarious state he was in. Just play casino with Mama and steal Rondo and the Charity and give Charity a nickel with a head on both sides. It tickled her nearly to death, and she called him Papa. But at 6:30 a.m. the next morning, he threw a whole 5-cent package of some unsold 1-inch free cracker from the store as hard as he could into my bedroom, and everyone went off. Not one bad one in the stream. Anybody else? Let be one that wouldn't go off. Well, I'm just terrible susceptible to noise of any kind. The doctor has always told me I was the most sensitive person he had ever seen in his whole life, and I was simply prostrate. I couldn't eat. People tell me they hear it as far as the cemetery. An old Aunt Jefferson that had been holding her own so good that thought it was Judgment Day and she was going to meet her whole family. It's usually so quiet here. And I will tell you, I didn't take me any longer than a minute to make up my mind what to do. There I was with the whole entire house on Stella Rundle's side and turned against me. If I have anything at all, I have prayed. So I just decided I'd strange down to the P.O. There is plenty of room there in the back, I says to myself. Well, I made no bounds about letting the family catch on to what I was up to. I didn't try to conceal it. The first thing they knew, I marched in where they were, all praying old maid, and pulled the electric oscillating fan out by the plug, and everything got real hot. Next, I snatched the pill I'd down the needle point on the right of the Davenport from behind Papa Daddy. He went, I beat Stella Rundle up the stair and finally find my charm bracelet in her brush drawer under a picture of Nelson Eddy. So that's the way the land lies, says Uncle Rundle. There he was, pissing on her hand. Well, sister, I will be glad to donate my army coat if you got any place to set it up, providing you will leave right this minute and let me get some peace. And Rundle was in French. Thank you kindly for the coat, and the piece is hardly the word I would select if I had to resort to the firecrack at 6:30 a.m. in a young girl's bedroom, I says back to him. And as to where I intend to go, you seem to forget my position as postmaster of China Grove, Mississippi, I says. I have always gotten a P.O. Well, that make them all sit up and take notice. I went out front and started digging up some 4 o'clock to paint around the P.O. Says Mama, facing the window. Those happen to be my 4 o'clock. Everything printed in that star is mine. I have never known you to make anything grow in your life. Very well, I says, but I take the fact even you, Mama, can't stand there and deny that I'm the one water that for, and I happen to know where I can send in a box top and get a packet of 1,000 mixed seeds. No, two, the same kind, free. Oh well, where, 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 where? Mama wants to know, but I say it's too late. You tend to your house, and I will tend to mine. You hear things like that all the time if you know how to listen to the radio. Perfectly marvelous offers. Get anything you want free. So I hope to tell you I marched in and got that video, and they could all beat and kneel in two, especially Stuart Randall, that is yet to be belonged to, and she well knows she couldn't get him back. I'd shoot for it like a shot, and I very politely tricked the sewing machine model I helped play the most on to give Mama for Christmas back in 1929, and a good big calendar with the first 8 remedies on it. The Ramamanto and the Hawaii ukulele certainly were right for mine. And I stood on the step later and got all my watermelon, preserves, and every fruit and vegetable I'd put up, every gel. Then I began to pull the tuckers out of the bluebird wall vases on the archway to the dining room. Who told you you could have those, Miss Priest? Says Mama, fanning as hard as she could. I brought them and I will keep track of them, I says. I will chuck them up, one on each side, the post office window, and you can see them when you come to ask me for your mail, if you are so that to see them. Not I. I will never darken the door to that post office again if I live to be 100. Mama says, ungrateful child. Of all the money we spent on you at the normal, me either, says dear Randall. You can just let my mail lie there in the lodge for all I care. I will never come and relieve you of a single solitary piece. I should worry, I say. And who you think is going to sit down and write you all those big fat letters and postcards? By the way, Miss Whitaker, just because he was the only man ever dropped down in China Grove, and you got him unfairly, is he going to sit down and write you a long correspondence after you come home, giving no reason whatsoever for your separation and no expression for the presence of that child? I may not have your brilliant mind, but I fail to see it. So Mama says, Sister, I have told you 100 times that Stuart Randall simply got homesick, and this child is far too big to be hers. And she says, now, why don't you just sit down and play casino? Then Charity stick out her tongue at me in this perfectly horrible way. She has no more manner than a man in a moon. I told her she was going to close her eyes like some days and let it stick her. It's too late to stop me now, I says. You should have tried that yesterday. I'm going to the PO, and the only way you can possibly see me is to visit me there. So Papa Daddy says, you will never catch me stealing food in the post office, even if I should take a notice into my head to write a letter someplace. He says, I won't have you reaching out of that little old window with a pair of shears and cutting off any bit of mine. I'm too smart for you. We all are, says Sir Randall, but I say, if you are so smart, where is Miss Whitaker? So then Uncle Randall says, I will thank you for now on to stop reading all the orders I get on postcard and telling everybody in China Grove what you think is the matter with them. But I says, I draw my own conclusion and will continue in the future to draw them. I says, if people want to read them in most secret on penny postcard, there's nothing in the wide world you can do about it, Uncle Randall. And if you think we will ever write another postcard, you are sadly mistaken, says Mama, cutting off your nose to split your face. Then I says, but if you are all determined to have no more to do with the U.S. mail, think of this. What will Sierra Randall do now if she wants to tell Miss Whitaker to come after her?